everyone, it's Christina with My Confection Obsession, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a pineapple-shaped cake. So the reason I am making this cake is because pineapples are actually one of my favorite foods, and there was a period of time I actually ate pineapple every day for like 3 years. And so I decided I wanted to make a cake that looks like a pineapple because I love them so much. So in front of me I have a frosted and crumb-coated cake that's already been stacked and frosted. There's actually a really simple technique to make the spikes for this. So what I have here is just a ton of yellow buttercream frosting, and I'm using a Wilton 4M tip. So this is like kind of like a bigger tip, and we're going to use this to make our spikes. And to get this golden yellow color, I actually did use Wilton Golden Yellow gel colors, and so I'll make sure to put that in the show notes as well. So before I put the spikes on, there is one thing I need to do. I am going to leave some space at the top for my leaves. So to do this, I actually have 2 little cupcakes here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to frost them and place them on my cake. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am simply going to start putting my spikes in. Okay, so after I have piped all of these spikes and I have a serious hand cramp, I'm actually going to stop right before I get to the very edge because I'm going to be placing my leaves, so I don't want to put the spikes all the way there. And so what I'm going to do is I do want this buttercream to crust just a little bit because I'm going to paint on it. So I'm going to place this in the fridge for a few minutes while I get the fondant leaves ready. Okay, so for our pineapple leaves, I have a little bit of green fondant here that I made using my homemade marshmallow fondant recipe, which I'll put the link in my show notes. And what I'm going to do is just roll a little bit out. And I actually used a little template, and you definitely don't have to. You probably can just freehand it. And you actually do want these leaves kind of thick because you do want them to be able to stand up and hold their shape. So the key to this is I would suggest making these a day ahead of time and letting them dry out and they harden. And then they're gonna stand a lot better than if you make them, they're just gonna fall over if you don't make them ahead of time. Alright, so simple leaf there. And then you're actually gonna want a few shorter leaves for the middle of so there's like the cupcake with the ring, and you wanna put a few in the center. So you do want a few shorter leaves there. And what to do for those so they stick up in the middle, you're actually gonna put a few toothpicks. Oops, you're gonna put a few toothpicks at the bottom so that you can stick them into the cupcake and they stand up straight. So again, you're gonna wanna let those dry overnight. And I suggest you're probably gonna need maybe 5 to 6 of the big leaves and at least 3 of the shorter leaves. So after this cake has set and the buttercream has crusted just a little bit, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to paint in between the spikes with a little bit of green to give this cake a more realistic look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be taking a little bit of gel food coloring and vodka and make a little bit of food color paint. Okay, so I have painted green in between all of the little spikes, and I think that looks really nice. And of course you can always go back and touch up a few parts if you see that they need it. But I am gonna let it dry for a little bit. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm actually going to add my spikes. So I did make quite a few of these already ahead of time, so they are pretty hard and they're gonna be able to stand up on their own. So my pineapple is done, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe.